That'll work right there, I guess. Trying to get you a decent view. There we go. I got no problem with Beacon. They're cool. They helped the lady out and got her dog and stuff. That's cool. It's gonna be a real quick live. I don't know how many people have time to get in here. This is really important though. So you get some fresh air here from whichever side I can get it from. Turn this down. Oh, I got some people in the room. Listen, this is real. This is not a joke. This is not a thumbnail to catch people's attention. This is not it's not clickbait. It's not whatever. It's just telling what it really is right now. All right, we're gonna go back in time for a second, okay? And then I'll get to what recently happened. We handed over the internet to basically, I guess, the global community, if you call it that. On that day, that weekend, I personally had problems getting my load because it was, the load was there, the truck was physically there, the trailer was physically there. I mean, my truck was I was in my truck. However, the paperwork came offline and the loads were in some database online, right? The company at that place could not go online for the first time ever. They could not go online to get their own paperwork. Fine. Finally, like the next day when it came up, it, gave again, the paperwork. I got the paperwork just after it came back up, and then I went to get fuel. I did a video on that. That's when I did the video on the fuel pump, and it said, sorry, the internet's down, it's cash only. Okay, fine, right? This was a while back. This is not today. This is a while back. What it was, I believe when we handed over the internet, I believe some country, okay, likely China, probably did a phishing experiment with AI technology that's so fast and so smart that it could go through and check out the vulnerabilities of everything that's connected to the internet. At that point, it had to shut everything down to go and look into all the systems as they were trying to upload themselves or talk to and shake hands with the internet. After that, we've had problems with Comdata, which is that system that runs everything, including some of the different internet systems, even into cell phones and PeopleNet. People have been having problems with their computer logs lately because some bad actors, some bad countries they're holding hands and working together. Basically, it's not just Iran. I believe they're working together to find vulnerabilities in our stuff and to mess with us, okay? Because they're not too happy about the centrifuges that spun up from that computer program that was looking for the box and found it, and there you go. Let's see, transformers blowing, refineries and plants exploding. I definitely think this is now where in cyber. Yeah, in L1978, you're the one that put up the one link, but I got that link at the same time from somebody else too, but I am gonna put that link up. Out of all your links, one, because I do watch the Washington Post and I do watch another one. The Washington Post, they're giving us intel. They want us to know this stuff right off the bat. So when if we go to war, I'm gonna say that we would know why. Well, here's the thing. Washington Post puts it up that Trump gives the go-ahead after Iran shot down one of our drones the other day, right? With their missile systems. Where'd they get the missile systems? Russia. It's the Su-300. They suck. They're good at getting something low-hanging fruit. They can hit a load of Pelicans. If you have Pelicans coming in at you, it's good to have the Su-300. If not, it's garbage, honestly. But they have it. The Su-400, it's quite a bit better, and then they got other stuff. But I'm just going to say this. That's Russia's meat and potatoes. They sell everybody who's anybody who wants a missile defense system. First thing they did when they went down there to Venezuela, right? First thing what they do, they sold them the Su-300. Now it's on every corner of the whatever place down there, and it makes it dangerous because they could just shoot themselves off, just by detecting stuff, and it could be a passenger plane or something, right? It's dangerous. It's just like that the Russian word for dead hand, okay? Dead hand system. I did a video on that. I'll put a link up to Dead Hand. It will shoot off if it detects nuclear radiation, which they've got Chernobyl over there. They got radiation everywhere. But if it detects radiation, it'll shoot missiles over here. Back to the Iran thing. Back to what they did. Yes, they shot down a drone. However, the drone was in international waters, but it doesn't matter. The fact that they shot down the drone means that they have escalated and they shot the first shot. But even far back in the past 6 months to a year, really as far back as we handed over the internet, they have been maligning our systems. They took out an entire town up in the Northeast. I'll have to find that link, but I will get that link, where they took it out and those people couldn't sell houses at the city square. They couldn't pay their water bills. They couldn't, they shut down the water. They didn't have water because it's all computer controlled. Either Russia or Iran did that, or China, or all three of them holding hands. At this point, I don't know, but they know. Our government knows exactly which one it is. I just know that it's not some dude in a cave in Afghanistan with a laptop going, hey, let's do this. No, it's some people that are good at what they do. Now, they have just set out a warning. This is me relaying that warning. Here's the warning. Your computer might go to crap. I told y'all about keeping a map book in case we lose GPS. Russia has 2 satellites up there, now 3 because it was pregnant with 2 other ones. You can look at you need to watch that video to understand this. Okay, Russia sent up a satellite, and then super secretly it had 2 other satellites that moved like nobody's business, almost like a jet airplane in air, only in space. They've never seen anything like it. It's almost like anti-gravity or something weird. Listen, they have the ability to come up and snuggle up to and work in close proximity. That's what Russia's been dumping all their money on. It's close proximity flight to other vehicles in space so they could take them out. China, on purpose, took one out up in the atmosphere and all the pieces went everywhere. Okay, so what's next? Anything goes. Because now we've given the go-ahead, which is what we should do, to take out their launch systems for their probably the Su-300s, whatever else they got. And we've had the ability to do that. And they say in that report, I'm not just breaking this, they broke it, that we have had the ability for a long time to knock out all the damn gnat boats I talk about that are just irritants. Navy calls them gnat boats. Okay, they're like gnats. You just water them out, and they probably see them on the radar. It looks like a little gnat. They're an irritation. It's ridiculous. It's like you're going to take on the Navy, really? Okay, the ones that put the Limpet mine on the side of the ship, they're taking on. They want to fight tankers that have no defense, and the insurance company tells the people, no, we can't put armed guards on those tankers. It makes our insurance go up. Well, last time there was a war and they blew 50 something into the damn strait and sunk them. 53 or 55 oil tankers sunk in the Iran-Iraq war, right? And oil prices went up, but also insurance rate went up by 400%. What do they think is going to happen when that happens? And we get photobombed? That's Sasquatch. Just so you know, in case y'all looking for Sasquatch, he's right here. He's wearing a red shirt. Check this out. So back to, everybody wants to be famous, but I'm just showing Beacon, man. Look, Beacon, I support you. I like what you do. All right, check this out. So basically what's going on is this. I lost my train of thought for a second, but I'm back on here. We went and gave not only the order to use cyber warfare against them, and we could knock out all their gnat boats. They said within inside of a week, all that Iranian National Guard little crap would be gone. Well, okay, but then they are now ramping up efforts to kill anything that's connected to the internet, including your laptop, anything that they can right now, because Iran is pissed. They just probably lost their missile systems. They're feeling vulnerable, and they're like, this is probably everyone thinks, because even when I saw the towers fall in New York, the first thing I thought was, that's nothing. That is nothing. That's a preemptive attack. That is everybody I know that had good sense, when I talked to them later, months and months later, was telling me, you know, I said the same thing, right? Okay. They're looking at it as a preemptive attack. That's how they're going to have to look at it militarily, okay? And they're going to, yeah, I got you, kid. I'll get that in a second, too. Because you're going to need fuel, brother. They're going to cut off the fuel pumps. So here's what I'm saying. Iran now has got its group of lackeys trying every little trick they know in the book, all the way down to if they could mess up the time on your Apple phone, whatever they could do, they're doing it right now actively. They've been doing this. They took out a town that couldn't even have water because the computer system was down, whatever. They took out, I don't know what all they've taken out. I can't say for sure that they had something to do with that plant and stuff. I can't really co-sign that, but I'm glad you made that comment either way. And if you're right in the end, I'll say she was right, and I didn't even want to believe it. But I will say this, anything connected to the internet is a vulnerability. It's like a fuse that'll only handle 15 amps, and you put 30 amps to it, it's going to pop. These places that, like I said, they have whole groups of people sitting behind computers. The next generation is cyber warfare, but we've been in it now since we handed over the internet. But now, publicly, Iran admitted to shooting down and even showed pieces of our drone. And so now, publicly, we've admitted and said that we are going to use cyber warfare against their missile systems, okay? So at that point, there's something else that happened. Our president gave the go-ahead for it's my understanding for in case that we are to speed up the process, that if we get shot at, that we can defend it. And I think that includes drones. It's something to that effect. And I don't know what all that entails, but it's in that report. I'll put a link up to it. I read deep into it, and I read the other links that I was notified of. And so we are at cyber war. Just because there's not people out there fighting right now, if you're on your computer and you're sending me viruses, and I'm on my computer and I'm sending you viruses, and it happens to be between two countries and we both got a flag, that's a war. And it goes on until the one person gets pissed off enough to shoot something else, but they've already fired the first shot because that was a drone. That was our airplane. And technically that's a vessel in or above national waters or in legal airspace. You don't shoot down somebody's stuff that's not in your airspace. And you really want to check and see if that's a passenger plane too. Those Su-300s are not good at discerning the difference. That's the problem with that piece of shit hardware that they got. They need to be taken out anyway. So there you go. And it's now ramped up to that level. And Google's messing with my numbers here, my people. I don't care. I probably got 20 or 100 people in the room, and they got it down to 1, and it's not going to hurt my feelings. Google, I don't have feelings. I'm a truck driver. Don't y'all know that? Don't you get that? I don't have feelings. For real. No, I do get upset. But what? I could start a whole nother website, man. Are you kidding me? So the point is this, people. Know that if your computer system goes down, don't think, oh, it's a coincidence. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. They are pissed and they're actively working, and they even, our government said that they know that they're ramping it up, but they don't want to say which systems they've been going after. They've been going after everything. It is their last-ditch attempt to cause us havoc, to get back at us for taking out their missile defense shield. And they're so paranoid about Israel that now, I mean, they're angry. It's not even that they're worried about us. Israel's like right there, and they've already said all that Israel shit. And so they're just waiting. Israel went all the way inside another country at one point and hit their nuclear ambitions that they had, and had extra tanks. They had to jettison them. Those Israeli soldiers came in on fumes. That happened. That was real. I can show a link to that. So we are at cyber war. Will it escalate? I don't know. That's why I'm telling you today. We might not have internet tomorrow. It might be out for a few days. We might not have satellite. You better get a map book, like I said, and look at I'll put the links up again for the satellites if you missed something, to catch y'all up to speed. I got one on the Russian satellite gives birth in space, and the other one is that the Russians had a satellite and Chinese boat that are taken out. We could lose GPS. It says this is why you can't rely on GPS, something like that. I ain't even got nothing in my hand. This is all freestyle off my head. If y'all got some comments to make, that's cool, and I'm gonna get going. But I wanted you to be aware that there may be a serious glitch in the system that is absolutely guaranteed to be caused by Iran or any of its other allies. Let's say that. And they've like I said, that's why China wanted 5G up in here. They wanted to be able to get the football. Russia wants first strike. China's trying to get us in a different way. And if they work together, that is what it is. So we're trying to stop all that and trying to be diplomatic about it. But if they fire something else at something else we have, it could escalate real quick, and it could be boots on the ground. So I'm not calling for that. It is what it is, man. That's what our people do, and we have armies and navies that defend us. So if you see in the news that some stuff goes off, it's all because of this, and all because they shot down our drone. And it's not a drone that had missiles on it, as far as I know. It's just I guess you'd call it a spy drone. It's just a drone. It takes surveillance. Yes, it's going to watch to see what's going on in the strait. They're mad that we took color-ass pictures at night of their little gnat boat taking a limpet mine off of a ship to hide evidence. They're mad that we have that capability, and they're like, well, we'll take out the drone that took a picture. That's like shooting a cameraman just because he's shooting a picture of a fire that happened to report on it. That's the equivalent. So now they are actively, our government wants us to know, and they put it up, they are actively now trying to destroy anything connected to the internet, including the phone I'm talking on right now, including the phone or the device you're watching, and all your internet. See, zero in the room. They're so crazy. Get some McAfee or Kaspersky antivirus on whatever you do, and protect yourself on your computer. Get a firewall, but if you lose internet itself, and expect it, don't blame it on somebody else getting into your internet. Don't blame it on nothing, but you can blame it on Iran. They've already said that that's what they're doing. So we know they're doing that. I'm gonna get off this thing. I got zero in the room. Y'all know what's up. Y'all know y'all in here. Anyways, I'll read some comments real quick, because I wasn't trying to miss it. Let's see. Transformers blowing, refineries and plants exploding. I definitely think this is now where in cyber. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Yup. And let's see. I'm just proud that I don't need the internet. Yeah, kid. So it's going to affect our fuel pumps if they jack with it like they did whenever they changed up. Each instance is different, but I think there is definitely some of that going on. Yep. I feel that all the world governments are working together, and everything that's on the news is a distraction. The news is romper room, and they're treating us like kids and trying to make us dumber. It's like, see Johnny, see Jimmy. The weatherman stands in front of the weather. It's like, get the hell out of the way so we can see the weather. No, they want to make him famous and make him a household name and make him where you talk about the weatherman more than you do about the weather. And you're so tied up in what he does and their banter back and forth that you cannot mentally ask questions of the news that's presented to you. It's a psyop. Let's see, you're not the only one in the room. I appreciate that, Addison Peterman. Yeah, I know I'm not. They jack my stuff, and yes, they are. Yeah, no worries. I appreciate you, though. Yeah, I got zero on my screen, I swear. So I could have thousands, and it could be, listen, Russia right now has blocked their social media stuff, and I'm not, you know what's crazy? I will raise my hand and say I was a part of that. I'll raise my hand and say I was a part of that. I probably caused it. No lie. Some fool with a female whatever got on to Twitter and wanted to be cute about something and say that because I put on there, oh, there's a problem with Russia. I put, just send them a bottle of vodka. We'll all be friends again. Just as a joke. It's a joke. Men would understand that. Russian men would understand that. I got friends in Russia. They would understand that. She wanted to put up something that said, oh, you just think that Russians just drink alcohol and all that stuff? I said, no. I said, if I was to drink alcohol, my alcohol would be something like, Patron Anejo, right? And I, no problem, everything's good. And then, well, I don't understand alcohol and something, and then wanted to put something up about, you should check into these, this nuclear medicine stuff that was given to people in Chernobyl and this kind of stuff. It'd be helpful to have a pack like this. So I said, okay, you want to jack with me and then throw some stuff up there like that? Cool. I put, hey, those would have been really useful back when they, messed after Alexander Litvinenko in London. and they put it in his tea and carried it in his pockets with no suits or nothing. She's talking about suits and stuff. I said, and then they shut it down. They shut that down, right? They didn't want no more talk about that. Why? Because it goes all the way up to the top over there, and they're like, they're embarrassed about it. The international community has already pretty much outed the Russian government for, you know, taking out their own spy, which I'm with it. I'm not trying to defend nobody, but the truth is, they gave him polonium-210 in his tea. It's a substance that messed him up. Alexander Litvinenko, and he even said it on his bed. He said, it'll come, you might take me out now, but it'll come back to you and haunt you for the rest of the days, what you did. Yeah, because he knew if he told the doctors, they'd look for it. If not, they wouldn't. And they found traces of it all over London, on the pilot seats, or I'm sorry, the airplane seats in the back, from a plane that came, they want to say, back to Russia, but they didn't want to admit to the one came from Russia, whatever. And it can only be made, that substance can only be made inside a special nuclear reactor. It has isotopes that can be traced where it came from, and it's, you put this substance in a nuclear reactor and it makes polonium-210. And nobody's trying to make that mess except for the poison state. You know, Russia's always used poison. The USSR did. Well, we'll see. KGB changed over to, you know, what they are now. The RSB, whatever it is, it's true. They're still KGB. So they still do that stuff, and their officers are not allowed to leave. It's like the mob, and they took him out. So I said, hey, yeah, they could have really used those little pills that help you with nuclear stuff in London. And then if they shut that down, they can shut the internet off. And like I said, if it's linked back to me, good. Don't be messing with me about stuff when I got more intel than you do in my head. I don't need a computer. I remember what was on the news. That was in the New York Times. You see what I'm saying? And now everybody's, oh, there's a new video about Litvinenko. Yeah, because they looked at my Twitter and they found, and they went further and they made videos of it. I'm being honest. That's where it started. And that's why the internet over there in Russia right now is slow and going and limited for any activity on Twitter. And that's why also, you know, they're a little embarrassed, and they're making new movies about it. And now they want to come out with a Chernobyl story. And don't get me started on that. That was an experiment. They pulled the rods out too far. They want to shove them in. There was water there, and those are graphite. And it actually sped up the process and shot gamma rays into space. Don't get me started on that. But back to this is that the internet, they can always shut it off. They can always, they've been trying to do a misinformation, disinformation campaign by putting spies from each country into different places on the internet, social media, and to change our mind and to make us brainwashed. Okay? So there are people that you might think, oh, that's my friend, or they're following me. They can have a picture up. You don't trust that picture. They can have a whatever up, or this is that. You don't trust any of that mess. It could all be a lie. Don't trust nothing you see online. But here's the truth about it. They route them out, and then when you see you lost some followers, or you lost this, or they shut off the internet because of conversation right after you had that with them. Oh, now social media is limited in Russia. Yeah, because we know and your people don't, and you get them talking to us, and we will tell it. You know, and then they'll be educated, and then they'll be like, holy crap, our people did what? Yeah, Alexander Litvinenko. That's the dude right there. I'll put a link up to that. Now I got 4 in the room. Now they like me. Bipolar ass. Okay, Google your bipolar. I'm gonna get these comments here though. Let's see. You are correct. Biggest problem I see is the AI that's portraying as people. Well, they used AI to circumvent everything and to find out what our system's vulnerabilities are. And then they turn the internet back on, and then they already know it. And it's that fast. It's that fast. AI is 1,000 times faster than a human, and now more, probably 10,000 times faster than a human, about being able to find backdoor programs, and it has been taught how to change programming, and we can't even look and see what it changed, but it changed it, and then we don't know what it's going to do next. That's where we're at on AI. I'll go on, I'm going to do a whole video on AI. I'm also going to do one on automated trucks, because that's a lie. It'll never happen. That's a government grant Ponzi scheme. They're showing them that run from one place to another on the property and maybe cross the street, but they can't discern between a child fixing to walk across the street and a child that, you know, the ball that it's going to chase after. They can't discern with deer. They can't go on the side of the road. I talked about that. Let's see, biggest problem I see is AI is portraying as people, and it's almost impossible to tell who is a person and who is an AI making comments, news stories, or conversations. The news stories actually that come from Russia are actually watched by the state because everything is state owned. So you got Sputnik, you got, there's like 5 different news services in Russia, 3 major ones, and then they put out circulars in newspapers in countries that allow them to have newspapers, in like Africa and South America, and then they push around until they cite their own proxy papers as sources, and it's all a big lie. So let's go further. Let's see here. Yeah, ultimate psyop. Yeah, well, like I said, they're actually using papers and real people to do it, and they actually, anything they put out has to be approved. Let's see, they made the masses and economy dependent on the internet to where if they flip the switch, everyone will be begging to turn it back on. Right now, our government is not trying to flip the switch, and they don't have the ability to flip the switch outside, but they do have the ability to put worms and bots in there, and that's their lowest level. The highest level is where they already have keystroked and called in, and what's called a where a person calls a telephone and says, hey, listen, I'm down here in the mailroom, I can't get into my computer, I'm new, can you just give me the passcode? It's social engineering, okay? It's what that guy talked about, Kevin Mitnick. Look up Kevin Mitnick. This is all off the top of my head, people. I don't even need the internet. I've already watched it all. So Kevin Mitnick was a guy who did that, and he got himself a job like that one time. He set up a telephone call that answers for him, an answering service to his phone line. He applied for a job and said he did this, and this for another company. Then when they called, they had it routed to them for his reference, and then when he had it changed from that person that answers the phone, his so-called secretary, it transferred the line to him. And he was just in the interview. He used the same voice. He says, yeah, Kevin's great now. What's he doing now? We take him back in a heartbeat. Yeah, he was good at what he did, and he got a job. That's social engineering, and he started hacking, and they put him in prison. Then they let him out and said for so many years that he can't be on a computer or near a computer because they were so scared that he would actually get information about our government and stuff and do bad things, which he wouldn't. But there you go. So if you're smart, they will punish you for it. Understand? So I'm just telling you people, there are smart people in other countries that are actively doing some Kevin Mitnick shit, right, against our country and trying to cause havoc against every system that's hooked to the internet. You remember in 2000 when they said the millennial, all the old chips, all the old computer chips are going to be no good because they were never taught to count past 1,999. They'll all go up down, and that included fire truck ladders and this and that. They changed out a lot of them. Some had problems, some didn't. Well, this is similar to that. Anything that's hooked up, they have ability to get to it if it's linked to GPS. That includes cars and trucks and stuff, but that mainly, for them people over there that are not quite that good, includes the systems for the fuel pumps, for your paperwork, for your computer, for your laptop, and for the internet itself. So while they're trying to figure out what's up with the internet, just like the other day, when YouTube went down, they said, oh, too many people was watching. Anybody can watch. Anybody can watch YouTube all day long and never crash YouTube. Then they wanted to censor people that they wanted to censor, and I was one of them, and they shut me down for a bit. I started another channel for a backup channel, Full Tilt Posting, and you can subscribe to that if you want to. Check out the playlists on there. Just watch it, whatever. I don't need subscribers. I don't have to have. What I do want you to know is understand this. I was part of that censorship. They also cut off Atomic News. Now my battery's dying. And they have the ability to even kill your battery. They can do anything that they could tell your device to do. They could do that, but I probably need to plug it up. You know, I'm not paranoid. I'm just telling you what the truth is. They fired shots at our drone. We cyber attacked their stuff already. It's down and they're pissed off. They will be doing retribution to every single thing that they could possibly pick at just to give us hassle. And that includes you and me. So if it happens, and I'm like, okay, no worries, I'll be offline a bit or whatever happens. But don't think that, oh, well, too many people were online, or oh, well, no, now they're admitting to that for the past however many months that it's been going on, for sure that they've ramped it up recently, even before they shot down the drone, and that we know who it was, but they don't want to tell who it was. We don't tell how we know who it was. And if you look at it, YouTube went down for one big ass block of it. They messed with the router systems. They probably found a good high speed T something box to send their whatever through, or whatever they did. And so it takes them some time to find that problem, to reboot under like a kind of like a safe mode or whatever. We may even be running on safe mode right now, who knows. I'm just saying, expect it, and don't scratch your head and say, what's wrong with my router, and smack it on the side of it. That don't help. You can reset it. That may or may not help. When all this happens, like I said, it's going to be, hey, that went down, that's weird. Hey, that went down, that's a coincidence. And then about the third thing, you'll be like, hey, that video I watched from that truck driver that seems to know a little more than just how to turn a steering wheel, holy shit, the dude was right. So I'm gonna check some more comments. I appreciate y'all being in the room. Hey Google, you put 2 people in the room. You're gonna mess with my morale and make my morale go up. You might want to get rid of 2 people in the room. You might want to show 0 again. Let's see, they made the masses and economy depending on the internet. Yeah, I saw that. Let's see, okay. Do you know about targeted individuals? If I knew, I couldn't talk about it. I'll say that. Let's see, don't or get to click that. Oh, don't forget to click the thumbs up, the like, y'all. Don't forget to click the like. Thank you, Mo and Hose. See, Mo and Hose, listen, there's some good people on Mike Morales' channel. They lift each other up. That's what's up with that. That's where that come from. That and people saying much love and that kind of stuff. That's all Mike Morales stuff. I give props to his channel, period. And then he said, don't forget, yeah, LOL. Yeah, so you can click like, that's cool. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get off this thing. I will put up the link to that thing on the Washington Post, and I'll get going down the road. Just know that this is a clear and present danger to the internet, and we are at cyber war. That's all there is to it. If 2 countries that both have a flag are circumventing each other, they both put it out in public, that's a war. It just hasn't come to bullets. Well, they shot a missile. You can't say it hadn't. So one side did a preemptive attack against you'll call it a vessel. Okay? It was a plane. There may not have been people on there. But see, how do they know? Because we've got some smaller planes, we got some smaller helicopters. Sasquatch he's going back to the woods, y'all. He's gone. Okay? So it's all in what you want to see about what they put up, but they definitely wanted you to see that the drone took the pictures, and then Iran knew that, and then they shot the drone. There you go. Anybody wants to say anything else? I'm fixing to get off here. I don't try to be rude and just cut people off when but I do need to get rolling. So share this video or not. Just come in and take it for the knowledge, but know that we are at cyber warfare, and know when you start losing systems, odd stuff, it's like, why the hell would they do that? It's just to cause trouble. Like a bunch of kids with firecrackers trying to make somebody think something's going on. And it's going to be a hassle. Yeah, Mike Morales is cool. Appreciate the insight. Yeah, this is the Washington Post. They want you to know it. I don't talk about it till it breaks. I'm not a breaking kind of person. Even if they sent me stuff and said, hey, we need you to break this. Oh, hell no. Because then someone come on me. No, I'll post links. I'll say, that's where I heard it from. And then they can point the finger at somebody else if there's any kind of issue. It was in the news, man. And then if you got a problem with the news, you need to pull their license to report. Okay? I'm a relay tower. Anybody who understands that will understand that. So I'm gonna get off this thing though, and I'm gonna get out of here. If you got anything else to say, go ahead. And I appreciate you showing up. And just know, you're not crazy if something weird goes out that's connected to the internet, starts having problems getting on the internet, or if it shuts down completely for a little bit and they have to find out what the problem is and reset stuff, because they have to reset stuff too, or go back to a default programming, or they split up the country and say, well, this half's going to be on this and this half's going to be on this, and we may have problems with targeting systems, but we're going to have to run off of this kind of system. Whatever they do that's weird, that's why. It means we were attacked again, because they've done it in this past year. I know for sure that there was a problem with the systems that are Qualcomm, Anycom. It's becoming a sitcom, people, for real. So, but I'm glad I'm in this position right now, because Beacon Transport with the truck the other day, I have no issues with y'all people, and y'all know that, and y'all, you know, but I want the people out there to know that they're a decent company or whatever. I'm not going to speak on their money or what, but they did go and send somebody to get the dog, and that was all cool. You know, I just was alerting them to that because I saw it and I didn't think it was. I was like, oh, that's not right. The fact that the dog's there, not that it was not right that somebody left it. They had to haul her off in an ambulance. You know, so anyways, I'm gonna get off this thing. Y'all stay safe. And hopefully we'll still have the internet because we kind of like it. But if not, you'll know who to point the finger at. They're already trying to do it. So that's it. I'm out, people. Peace.